Jeffrey, I believe we are live, my friend. I believe we are live. And let me make sure my volume's not on over here. Let's talk. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, brother.
You can hear me. Good stuff. So let's talk a little bit about sponsors. You take it away while I make sure everything is good on the back end of this broadcast of ours, okay?
Give me 1 second here.
Oh, you're not even ready.
No, I was just... Okay. All right. Western Survivor Beef Jerky. We have Israel Armwrestling Club. We have Misfit Powerlifting and Strength Shops. And who am I missing? You always have that shit right in front of you.
I don't know, man, but you are... I hope they're happy with that very non-enthusiastic.
Who said I was done? Listen, you are always leading this into the kickoff, and yeah, so I kind of got caught off guard there. You threw me right under the fucking bus.
I did. But that's okay. What's wrong with that? I mean, you got to be ready. You got to be ready to step up to the plate here, my man.
Yeah, that was caught off guard there. So I'm gonna develop a little intro speech here going forward.
Well, I'm still making sure everything is good to go on the backside of it here.
Western Survivor Beef Jerky.
Because we got to make sure. Ward Drake is in the house.
Western Survivor Beef Jerky. The best beef jerky in the world, hands down. Well, see, here's the difference, right? Flip that around. Yeah, see, you look at.
Jeffrey, I have the courtesy, the common courtesy, to wait until we're on the show, so that people can see it in real time.
It is just too fucking good to just sit there having.
My counterpoint is that you have no self-control, my man.
Not with beef jerky.
And also, our show will be brought to you tonight by Blackbush Irish Whiskey.
No, it's brought to you by Captain Morgan's, the finest in rum.
Mm-hmm. But wait, there's more. Patreon. The Alpha members get a shout-out. Ready Go Solutions. Some bum named Jeff Frank. Bruce Williz. Bryan Koerner. Jon Umpherville, Gary Roberts, Joe Fox, and Mike Dumas. You should use some Diet Pepsi for that. It's low calorie.
No comment.
And then for those of you, well, you know what? Our guests are waiting. Let's bring them in. I'll try to do them both at the same time and make it pop up here at the same time. See if the system can handle it.
What's up, fellas?
How's it going, brother?
Oh, Linn.
Hold on 1 second here. What do I got to push on this one?
I sent you an ask to start video thing.
Okay.
All right. So before we get, what did Curtis Mocan say? He said,
introduce our guests, and then we'll talk about the game, okay?
I got a drink first.
What's game? Yeah, what the heck? I'm missing all the cool stuff.
Well, don't worry. We'll talk about it. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Cheers,
brother.
Mr. Paul Linn and the Aussie arm wrestler himself. How are you doing, sir?
Ready, bang!
Hey. What are you drinking in Australia?
Just trying to sort everything out on my end. Let's see how we go.
Foster's, Australian for beer. My favorite commercial when I was a kid.
It's quite funny because none of us drink it. It tastes like
just made to be marketed over here, right?
Yeah, that's right, because we trick you all into buy the shit we don't want. But cheers.
That's ridiculous, man. You've crushed my childhood memories.
I know, right?
But we do eat Vegemite. We do absolutely bathe ourselves in Vegemite.
Fair dinkum.
Yeah. How are we, boys? This is very exciting.
This is very exciting.
It's on the Total Arm Wrestling Show.
It's 10 o'clock in the morning in Australia, and you're drinking.
That is so phenomenal.
It's funny you mention that, Ryan, because yes, it was a gimmick that kind of backfired. So when I started this whole Aussie arm wrestler thing, you know, super excited and just a sports fan. So my first guest was Ryan Bowen. And obviously we're in the same time zone. And then, yes, I was like, you know what? I'm going to have a beer with you, mate. You seem like a good guy. I'm going to have a beer. So we're there talking. I was like, I'm doing this every show. Not thinking I would get the guests that I would. Even when Paul Linn came on, he was my 4th episode. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, Paul, bang, like that, 3 o'clock in the morning, trying to have beers. Like when I had Michael Todd on the show, it was roughly the same time. You know, I'll set my alarm, I run downstairs, have a coffee to try and wake up. And then suddenly the sports fan kicks in, you know, when the guys answer the call. I'm like, oh, yes, here we go. But then, you know, drown myself like Steve Austin and then realize it's 4 a.m. and I got to go back to bed.
So you ran out of guests in Australia. So the game we are talking about is it's the Ryan Espey and Jeff Frank live drinking game. Now, this was invented by Curtis Mocan.
Okay, he's on there. So cheers, Curtis. Cheers.
He's been paying attention to the show for a long time. And if Jeff says any of these 3 words, you take a sip of your drink. And I guess the first one is actually 2 words. But if Jeff says bad dude, or C.
Bad dude, C.
Well, and C. I might do that about 1,000 times. So
bad dude, C.
Yeah.
And my 3 words, Jeff's going to be done by 10 minutes in. My 3 words are okay, listen, and man. So okay, listen, man.
Well, there you go. We're going to have a lot of drunk people in the live chat.
Yeah. So
do I have to go back up to the refrigerator to be prepared for this? Like
you do, Paul.
Take small sips, my man. Take small sips.
See, Paul Linn, you're a bad fucking dude.
Cheers, God. Curtis.
So I appreciate, you know, that the guests have almost a very nice studio setup and you're ready to roll here. And then Jeff looks like he's sitting in a steam room somewhere. What's going on? Is your house on fire?
Definitely just come out.
Here's a funny story. Speaking of my house being on fucking fire, the wife cooked supper at 7 p.m. last night. I got up at 4 p.m. to fucking take a piss. The corn she cooked was fucked because we have a natural gas stove, one of those new ones, and she left the fucking burner on, and the fucking corn was on fire at 4 o'clock in the morning.
So is that what we're seeing? Is that's the smoke. Of that?
No, that's just smoke, right?
Yeah.
It just looks more like the smoke machine when a stripper's about to come up on stage. I think Jeff isn't that. I think it's just.
It's all for effect.
And he's just like, wait there. Wait, don't come out and dance yet. I've just got to do an arm wrestling show. Keep your little kids over there. And now.
That's exactly right. So we got we're an interactive show, you guys, and we go off the rails pretty easy. We used to try to stick to the script. But we've all done those shows where it's like, you know, give us your history. How'd you get in the sport? Yada, yada, yada. We all know that. So we're trying to make it a little more fun and a little more interactive. Of course, we got Jonathan Brita telling me my left arm is weak. It wouldn't be a show without that happening at least a few times. But if you guys want to talk about some arm wrestling specific stuff, we know that Michael and Levon have been beaten to death. The subject is.
We don't want to talk about that.
But there's been a new twist.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
There's a new twist, and I'm not talking about the potential of like Devin saying that PAL's greenlit this thing because they haven't. But Gennady has now made a video saying that he's not under contract, and he's calling out Michael Todd.
Ooh.
Oh, that's sexy. That's very sexy.
But that's not really the match that anybody wants to see, really. Yeah. So it's cool, but like, why would we really entertain that? Like, if we're talking about Levon and Michael in the same breath, and And Gennadi's not even in the top 8. Not that he shouldn't be. He probably should be. He might be the number 2 or 3 guy. But
it kind of feels like Gennadi's.
But let's talk about why he isn't. Because I think it's political.
I'm sure.
Because he is the coach of the Georgian team, one of the coaches. So that being said, if he appears in a PAL event, he'll get suspended from WAF. And that was his reason for not doing it.
Okay.
He pins Levan all the time. That's why he's not in top 8. Levan is the money-making thing for PAL. He's got the look. He's got the power. The guy looks absolutely phenomenal. So why, as a business owner and a business promoter, would I bring in someone that...
Oh, we're getting fucked up. Thanks, baby.
Jeff's drinking White Claws again.
Why would I bring in someone that is pinning my golden boy all the time? That's not as marketable as Levan. So that's why Gennadi's not in top 8.
Well, the fun part about it is the hype around Gennadi's lifts is starting to grow.
Right.
So sure, it's not Levan, but what if? What if? And what happens if Michael beats him? We get more momentum towards that match. If Gennadi beats him, it kind of solves the problem too, right?
So did anybody see Gennadi's video where he did the Thor challenge with the bar?
Yes.
With added weight?
How much did he do?
Like 17 and a half pounds or something. Something like that.
See, he's a bad dude.
Oh my God.
Hey, Jeff, your boy's doing more than that. I got a video too.
You're a bad fucking dude.
I'm joking. But we did do it back in the day when it was like a TikTok challenge. And my buddy Justin did he did a 25 and a 2.5, which is ridiculous. But
it's just starting to feel like that Gennadi is like Levan's little brother, and it's like, oh hey, I want to come play too. Michael Todd, I want to pull you as well. Let me play.
Everybody's gonna try to jump on that hype train, right?
Yeah. The whole thing behind it, like what Ryan's saying, it's definitely political. But like to like at this point, like, and I heard there was talks about like potentially giving Michael Vitaly Laletin. And he's the number 2 guy, but that's not what everybody wants to see right now in this perfect storm of a time where you actually can have like an underground match in Dubai and nothing else is like slated. Like there's nothing in the works for PAL or WAL, anything official at all. And we have this window of time in this place where a perfect storm can happen and we can have the match. Like, why are we even tinkering around with the idea of wasting more time?
People are dumb. People are dumb. That's why I'm sick of everyone coming in saying, oh, I want to pull Michael Todd and I want to pull Levan. No, we only want to see Levan pull Michael Todd. So all you fantastic pullers out there, shut up. We don't want to see it. It's kind of like if Michael Todd pulls anyone else but Levan, it's like having half a hand job. We don't want it. It's an anticlimax. It's like, cool. That's awesome. It's great that you're arm wrestling. That's very cute, but we don't want it. The only match at the top we want to see is the best in the PAL and the best in the WAL. I don't want to see a number 2 versus the best. It's not how it's working. It's just getting a bit out of control now. The world is very frustrated. It's very angry.
Jake, I love you, man. So everybody out there, that was the Aussie translation of the exact same thing I was saying. Spot on.
Bang!
Bang!
Sometimes I need subtitles. I need the bouncing ball to translate.
That was great.
So are you saying you don't want to see Chafee pull Levan?
No. And I was speaking to Dave the other day. I think Dave has a red hot crack and
I do too.
Probably beats him as well. But at the moment, being a sports fan, I love the hype. I love seeing the best of the best. Now, Dave, unfortunately, he's lasted out. He lost to Michael Todd in WAL format. So I would like to see Dave probably take on the winner, be next in line. I would like to see Dave take on a number 2 like the Vitaly. I would like to see that. But originally, PAL put that top 8 out as a distraction. It's like, oh, Levine can't pull Michael Todd because he's got Dave Chafee. Unfortunately, Dave Chafee is probably the one puller that hurts out of all this chat because he was originally scheduled to pull Levine. And then if Michael Todd comes out and beats Levine, which I think will happen, then Dave Chaffee's kind of like, I want to pull Michael Todd.
But what happens if this match happens like, and it's not sanctioned by either league or whatever?
What if we say that, Paul?
What if we call it an exhibition and we throw, and it's a pay-per-view and these guys can take their cuts under the table, whatever anybody needs. But the WAL and the PAL goes back to normal as it was before. It's an East versus West. Gannett or Levine's the heavy favorite, like right now, like Michael Todd has got the Rockies chance right now. So like if Levine truly is unstoppable, then what is there to lose, really? And even regardless of outcome, it's not like the leagues can't continue on the way they were.
No,
if and when they come back.
PAL are the only ones that have to lose out of this, because if Michael Todd comes over and beats their golden boy, PAL is then deemed the number 2 league in the world. WAL, if continuing to go, will always be successful. It's got that entertainment, it's got that Hollywood, and it's got Devon. So people will always tune in. If Devon is still contracted in WAL, people will always tune into that. So if Michael Todd loses, that's fine. That is fine. People already kind of see Levine as number 1 in the world anyway. But I feel out of all this, PAL has got the only one that will lose out of this if Levine gets pinned.
Yeah. I don't think any league suffers at all after this, regardless of the outcome.
Everybody wins.
Yeah, you guys are right. What do you think of the comments? So there's so much information coming from all angles, and a lot of it we can deem as fake. Jeff's on drink number 3 already, so he'll be taking his shirt. He'll be taking his shirt off any time now. We are faced with some things. Like Michael seems very confident that this match is going to happen.
I think because it's going to happen outside the WL or the PAL. I think
for sure it is. But then there's Travis's comments saying that if Michael has permission to have this match, the WAL is no more.
It's not true.
It's done. I know it's not true. I actually was one of the guys that
Ryan, you got the same email I got.
I did
today. It's not over. I mean, we don't know what's going on. It's frustrating.
But I asked the question.
It's not over.
So I sent the question to Jamie, and then that email came out less than 24 hours later, and I assumed that there was a bit of there's a few guys that sent the same text to Jamie asking what's up, and it's just on a hiatus still.
I got, I keep in close contact with Bart and some other guys that are kind of in inner circle. And from my understanding, the folks that were full-time employees are still full-time employees. There's not things like people are still getting paid, and moves are still being made, and BR Live is still a thing, and they're still marketing for higher platforms. And there's still talks of other really cool stuff too that people are getting contacted about. So I don't think it's over. It's just really about when does it start back up, and what are we supposed to do in the meantime? But everybody's in that boat. We're all holding our breath and sitting on our hands.
I think what WAL need to do soon is not worry, which is bad at the moment, but not worry about the international guests. Just get a core North American thing just to put on something.
Well, I think it's the sponsors. I think it's the sponsors that are stopping this from happening, not the WL.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. I think it looks bad. People can keep running local events, whatever. They're not sponsored by anybody big like the WL is. I think WL going against, professional recommendations. I think it looks bad. I don't think the sponsors want to be part of that.
No. Yeah. Nobody right now wants to put their name or their product on a tournament where you got 300 people touching each other and
especially if something bad goes happen.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So,
I mean, Yeah, because the local events need to do something. I watched this weird local event on YouTube, because being on the other side of the world, and some guy like pinned 18 people in a row. It got a bit boring at the moment. It was.
yeah. Paul Talbot killed it. He killed it.
Was that Gary's event?
No, that was our event, but Gary's yours? ROTN. Yeah, yes. he beta tested the ROTN at our event.
That was the king of the table style thing.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah,
it was cool to watch.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it really has a future. I don't know if it's actually going to replace tournament style arm wrestling, which I know Gary it's what he wants, and Travis has kind of talked about a similar concept. But I'll tell you what, the energy when we started doing it, like everything else stopped. We were running 3 tables and everybody just stopped. So
yeah,
it was pretty cool.
It definitely has its place. I think it's something to have coincided with the event, because if you're a puller and you go out in straight sets, you get your double elimination and you're gone. At least there's something else instead of the after pulls, or I might have a crack at the king of the table. I think it's absolutely should be at most events.
So we were like, the thing about it was that the concept we were still kind of like working through, and Gary had some ideas and everything else, and he's shooting for like this 16, 20 man deal, cycle through or do a certain amount of time. So what we just did was take all the first and second place guys from the pro right hand classes and the masters right hand classes, and we threw them in. It was 16 guys. So that's how we did it 3 cycles through, and you just tally your wins. So I mean, there's definitely flaws, and Gary's been kind of like working the kinks out moving forward, because it doesn't set up well for like the lightweights, because they really only get 2 cycles when you get to them. So there's a few things that could have been tweaked, but you living and learning, and I think it's a step in the right direction, and a new concept, at least at the minimum.
Oh, absolutely! It's something new, and that's what we need. It's hard enough trying to convince people that arm wrestling's not what they do in pubs. We try and tell them that we're elite athletes and things like that. And we take the training very seriously. The people at the top. So I will encourage any sort of new format, because clearly the same format has still got us in that. Oh, that's what you do in pubs after a few drinks. No,
right.
No, dickhead, no. This is a fantastic sport. So, if anyone is trying any sort of new format, absolutely give it a go. And Brad Lawns, yes, I'm an Akadaka fan. Just saw something in the comments. ACDC.
I'm going to go through some of the comments, because I see Nathorn says, greetings everyone except for Espey. He always ignores everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and continue ignoring him.
Adam Vandal's in there. Western Survivor.
There, yeah.
Western Survivor.
See, Ryan.
I can say my biltong. There we go.
Actually, that was a really good flavor.
It was. Yeah. I didn't know what to think. It's not like the rest of them, though. Like, you don't got to put it in the side of your mouth and let it kind of rehydrate.
Hey, you guys know that fucker Brian almost put me in jail last weekend at the airport?
Who did?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, I heard the story where I was actually with Ryan on TV when that happened. Tell him the story.
You tell from your perspective, because everyone that was here last week was supposed to be here, and they showed up for their predetermined broadcast time. And
did I watch this? I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember.
I was going through airport security in Vancouver, so it's a fairly big airport, and Ryan's bugging me every 5 fucking minutes. And anyways, I was just going to put he texted me and I said, Ryan, I'm just going through the actual security. I'm going to get searched. I got to put my phone in a little white tray. And he fucking says there on text message, what about the gun? As I put the fucking phone.
Gosh. That's
unreal. That's the best. That is
Jeff. The real question is, did they find a gun?
No, which is weird because I usually carry a gun, not through the airport security, but
he's lying. Fair. We're in Canada. We don't have guns.
Well,
right.
Anything fucking east of Saskatchewan is not Canada. So
fair enough.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious when you shared that story last week, because that's something I'd do. Absolute beautiful stitch up. Magnificent.
Yeah. It didn't work though. And I thought, holy shit, what if he's getting strip searched right now? And then I laughed.
Live stream. Should have live stream that. Just get the old strip search. Oh, yeah. I would have done that.
Just turn the phone on him like everybody else does when they get arrested.
Right.
So Mocan said 30,000 people paying $40 each for a pay-per-view match. He's working out the profit. I'm not sure if his math is right, but I also saw in Arm Wrestling Noobs that they pointed out that the highest pay-per-view buy for arm wrestling was 11,000.
Well, I don't think everybody was bitching to pay $2. Why would they pay $40?
Yeah, but that's all you need to pay. It needs to just be a $3 or $4 thing. And at 100%. The moment, because a lot of us have got nowhere to go, we're all going to pay the $2 or $3 or $4. Do not make it anything over $5, and I guarantee you would get 50,000 buys. 50,000 buys if it happens within the next month, and you charge everyone $4. 50,000 buys, divvy it all up. It's better than nothing.
Well, but the thing we're missing here is there's no overhead, right? Like you could literally put like $1,000 camera, the same as like that Nomad League does. And you just have a referee and 2 guys pulling in a room with like a backdrop. That is your overhead. Like,
what did you think of that, Paul? I asked about if anybody knew about that Nomad League a couple weeks ago. Isn't it cool?
Yeah, and like I'm learning more about some guys that I didn't know about through it, and like it's such a simple concept, and like of course, like you got a lot of fouling, and it's a European style, so it's less like like the WAL, but I mean they're pumping stuff out and they're pumping matches out, and people are watching.
Well, it's funny.
And stars are rising.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up because I was watching the Nomad League, and I'm gonna follow that concept next weekend. I'm gonna do a bunch of super matches here in Alberta. And kind of do that same concept. So,
right. Who the big guy coming out of what is it, Marazov? He's unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh yeah, from Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bad dude.
Yeah.
Ooh, drink.
Bad dude. That's a good one.
Okay, I just opened another one.
But that's there's no. I just don't understand why people aren't doing it. I mean, YouTube is big. I mean, 12 months ago, like I was watching you guys like on TV, had the day off work. So I'll just watch some arm wrestling clips. And now I'm having a chat with you all. Like people just don't understand or aren't really grasping how powerful YouTube could be. I've been on channels and people, the super chats on YouTube, people are throwing money, there's a market for it. And at the moment, especially people here in Australia, we are sick of people posting videos doing this on a cable machine. Like we love to compete here in Australia. We just want to see competition. So when you had the TAL and you had super matches and Cody breaks his arm and people are pulling left, right and center, we were gagging for it. Paul, you had your event on the weekend and everyone was watching about it, and we're having a chat about it at training. Here in Australia, we love competition. We enjoy participating in the training videos and things like that, but a lot of us can't be bothered going to the gym and posting our own video. We just want to see 2 guys or 2 women lock hands, hear the ready bang, and then off with the races. So we need more competition, more super matches.
I totally agree with that. Yep. So if we get a $50 super chat, Ryan and I will finish the show shirtless.
Yeah. Finish it shirtless, and I'll just do this with the camera.
I'm getting on my PayPal.
So is that a one-off $50 super chat, or is it 50 in total?
$50 super chat.
Oh, it has to be one.
Well, if we get no, that's fine.
It's just like that pay-per-view.
$50 total.
Oh, $50 total.
50 total.
I'm donating $1.99. Exactly what I would pay for that pay-per-view.
Yeah. Jeff is going to be the first guy.
That's great.
Jeff is going to be the first guy.
Right now.
Oh fuck! I'm drinking these way too fast. Holy
yeah, you got to slow down on the White Claws there, fella. It's going to get to you. All right, so Jeff, you got matches. Do you have any matches confirmed? Because yes, let's hear it, buddy.
Zloty Tour puller finished 7th at Zloty and went to Poland to qualify to pull the top 8 in the 95 kg. Mr. Joe Fox.
Ooh.
We'll go against Ali Hamadia, right hand. That's kind of the headliner.
Good match.
And there's this guy I know in Manitoba. His name's Ryan
Aussie
Espey.
Armwrestler super chat.
Okay, you got to do the math, Ryan. Keep it.
Australian, 449 Australian
what
is 436 Canadian.
That's all right. It's a start. Don't disembark how good the Australian dollar is. I'm trying to help. Jeez. I know it's only about 35 cents American, but that's okay. Try to get the ball rolling. Be a man of my word.
All right, Jeff, I'm sorry to interrupt you trying to shit talk me, but
I wasn't shit talking you.
Yeah, you go ahead.
I was saying there's this guy, Ryan Espey. He might come out, and I got a couple matches under my sleeve, or I guess, holy fuck, I need to slow down because I cannot think.
Oh, my God.
A couple competitors that would go, yes. Mr. Stephen Marcoux. I want to talk to Evan Burgoyne and BLM, see what they're up to.
Oh, nice.
And see if they can come out and a couple things like that. Other than that, it's just going to be some more local type talent until we kind of got the green light to do a little bit more here.
That's all right. Nothing wrong with the local talent. And from what I gather, BLM is always keen to compete and keen to pull. So it's always good if you have someone like that at your call. So I reckon he'd be absolutely keen just to pull anyone, especially after his last super match with Dallas. That was that was one of my favorite things in the whole world. That was hilarious.
That was the first TAL event. It was
and the 10-ball way and the controversy and things like that. So and Brendan appears hungry. He appears that
he's a warrior.
He just wants to pull and pin people and just start getting his name mentioned a lot more. That's what I gather from the young fella.
Oh, he's full of confidence, no question. And for everything that went wrong at that tournament, it kind of kickstarted everything the TAL was. It's kind of like, I don't want to say bad publicity, but any publicity is good publicity. So it was one of those things that really kicked the whole league off. Was that first TAL event with BLM in Dallas?
Oh, it was good because it was something in 2020. So I was sitting in my lounge room watching it live. It was competition. It was competition, and like I've harped on the whole time. That's what we need. So these TAL things have been fantastic.
That was a good match, though. Like, a lot of stuff happened. But Dallas getting him in the strap early on and kind of holding him. I was like, uh-oh. You know what I mean? And then Brendan figuring out and pinning him when he's coming underneath. It was a good match. Like that's a match that has value and has value to see again.
Oh yeah, and people want to see it, and they both want to do it again. They both, after all the internet exploded, of course they both want to do it again and see who the proper winner is. It was great, and I'm sure they would probably prefer a concrete roof over their head, a tiled roof or something like that, But hey, that's live sport, and that's what we love.
Maybe some larger, stronger individuals putting the pegs for the tent poles in the ground.
Well, first of all,
there's some stability there.
I think the tent falling off was the best thing that happened for TAL. I really do.
I agree with you, Jake. It kind of cemented the TAL. It really did. It was talked about all over the place. But let's not forget that whole outdoor venue was really enjoyed by everybody. Outside of that tent falling down, it was a great venue. And I think next time, I don't think next time, even if we do it outside, I'm going to have more of a stage with a backdrop and a TAL, like an 8 by 10 foot type TAL banner in the background. So but outdoors again. It's a really good location.
Outdoors is so hit or miss. Like you can get, like it can be a total home run.
Yeah.
We had our Keystone State Championship at the Parks and Recs down the road. My buddy's like the director, and he hooked it up, and that was the only way we could do it because it was outdoor. And I mean, it was like so much better than the year prior, to the point where we want to do it again.
Nice.
But you never know what you're going to get weather-wise. Now we had big crazy tents and everything, but you never know.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I'm going to try to shout out as many guys in the chat as I can, you guys, but don't be offended if I miss you. Ronan, you're always in there. Timmy Turner, always in there. But I got to say hi to Daryl Stephenson, the president of the Manitoba Arm Wrestling Association. So one of the guys behind the scenes that are taking care of business. And, of course, Jimmy G, the Church of Arm Wrestling podcast in the house.
Walnuts, what's up?
Walnuts.
That's pretty cool. Like you mentioned a lot of those names, Ryan, and it's been fantastic because whenever I jump on Arm TV or, I do something on my channel, these same guys, Ronan, Timmy Turner, Jimmy G, they're all, and there's probably more in there, Curtis, they're all on every channel. They are just such a core following and core supporters of the sport. And it's great because anytime you jump on any live chat or any video, they're just on everything, and it's so cool to see. It's so cool.
That's a great point. I do my best to try and do the same thing, Jake. And we got a limited time. We're all doing a million different things, but I try my best. And I think some people are like, "Oh man, there's so many YouTube channels popping up, and it's competition and blah blah." No, we all share the same. It's all the same. We do more content. Like we're all it's so like this past year, if nothing more, has been the year of like content creation and just social media interaction. And it's not like when we can't interact face to face and we can't compete, that sucks. But at least we can interact through this stuff, and we're having interactive stuff. We're doing the RMPR stuff and Uncle John, like that stuff's like great.
Yeah.
And if anyone, I think if anyone thinks that it's all competition, then you should probably find something else to do on YouTube. And I'm one of the fairly newer guys to this whole YouTube thing, and I have had nothing but love from everyone in the arm wrestling world, and that's why I enjoy trying to pass it on. If you are, first of all, if you are in the sport of arm wrestling for money, oh my God.
I'm in the sport to spend it.
Not a chair. The majority of the content creators on here are doing it because they love the sport. And that's the reason why I jumped in, and everyone's been fantastic for me. So it's stupid if you don't pay it forward. I mean, Gary Roberts had a stranglehold on the content and YouTube and things like that, and he has footage for days that technically could put a lot of us out of business. Instead, Gary's like, "Hey, Uncle John, come on my show. Hey, Aussie Armwrestler, come on my show. Yeah. Hey, Ryan, what are you doing? Come on my show." And brings everyone in. Uncle John's doing the same. Uncle John and I do basically the same thing, slightly different, but he's like, "Aussie Armwrestler, come on the show," and things like that. There's so many cool things out there, and you can just tell the ones that are just having the time of their life. And I've heard you say before, Paul, if everyone comes together, it's only going to benefit us all as content creators or even arm wrestlers in general. Whenever I see new channels come up, I'm always subscribing. I'm always watching, so they get that, because I'm like, hey man, that was cool as hell. And then see if I can work with them and do something. It's awesome.
Well, you can share. You can share all of it. All the hype is shared, right? And Jimmy and I always talk about the power of positive energy and stuff. And when you put yourself around people who give off positive energy, you absorb it, and you know what I mean? It's so it's contagious. So if you put yourself around the right people and you share that energy, all you're doing is growing things in the right direction. And like you said, nobody's making any money off of this. We're in here spending money, spending time and spending money. I mean, I get killed all the time. You got ice cubes in your thing. You need a better mic and everything else. Look, I got this weird red light down here. Uncle John told me I was slacking. I got a red light. Okay, guys, another investment. I'm not making money. My YouTube has made like $125. So we're working on our initial investment.
Absolutely. I was the same with my microphone. I was like, people are like, oh, your sound's a bit off and things like that. I watch YouTube tutorials, and it's like, I was sitting there with my wife, and I was like, hey, babe, there's this microphone that was kind of recommended. It's about like 230 Australian. Like, we're ahead of the bills. Is it okay? And she's like, yeah, of course. You know, you seem to be having fun with it. Right. You know, people, think that.
Well, that's the funny part of it, though, because, like, all right, but why don't you get yourself some professional stuff? Because, like, well, we're trying to make ends meet too, and we're just kind of doing it for fun. So
get professional
it's
stuff. Speak to 217. Speak to Brad from 217. The guy has all the professional stuff in the world. He is fantastic. But I'm probably broke.
I'm so far ahead of you. I only bought a camera because Brad told me to buy a camera, and then I in turn bought the camera and told Jimmy G to buy the same camera. So Jimmy got the same camera. It all comes from Brad, and neither of us know how to use it.
No, whenever I get a couple of minutes, I'm just like, I want to try and improve something. So I'll do a small tutorial and I try and practice with it. It's like, I have the basic setup here. And the only reason I'm like in my lounge room and kitchen is because I'm too lazy in my studio to fix the Wi-Fi to get a stronger signal up there. So I got to bring all my equipment down here.
Well, you guys mention all this stuff and all this fancy equipment, but take Devin Larratt, who's got one of the largest arm wrestling channels, almost prides himself on his lack of production value.
I love
talks about it. He talks about
great.
it, and he's he's one of the top guys.
Yeah, and it's hilarious. I find it hilarious. Of course, I would love to have the awesome videos and the editing. Like that, and I'm practicing to do it. But like whenever I turn up to my training here in Melbourne, and they're like, oh, bring all your camera and we'll film some super matches and stuff. I'm like, my camera's like literally this big that I look through here, to jump in, and it's connected to my laptop and things like that. Like, I don't have the big equipment. Like Ryan, when I spent some time with Ryan Bowen, like he invested in himself. He spent thousands. He was like broke for a while before he started making money from this. You speak to him. Goodness. He made like $7 in his first maybe 4 years.
Yeah, he just mentioned it recently.
He did. I saw that show.
Yeah,
he was talking about that.
Yeah,
we got a super chat. We got to talk about a super chat here, guys.
Is it $50?
Curtis Mocan has donated $3.99 towards the Jeff Frank T-shirt removal competition. I don't know what. I think you're on your own here, Jeff, with this. But also, Lethal Arm Assassins Network, whoever that is,
I know
has
that
donated $5 American. So I think we're at $50 Canadian already.
The American dollar is plummeting, guys.
It is.
I hate to tell you.
Yeah.
Not as fast as the Canadian dollar.
I just need to be able to. I need to be able to super chat in Bitcoin. That's where the value is.
Yeah.
The America is killing me at the moment because I need to get over there and attend all these events and do some commentating and things like that. You need to fix that clusterfuck you got over there, Paul. And if anyone can save the country, it's on you. Please.
Wait. I can't fix my leaky faucet.
Whenever I ring anyone in America, I'm like, who can fix a country? And they all say the same thing. Lindiana Jones, Paul Williz. They say, they're like, he is the man that can just unify America together. So come on, lift, Paul, lift.
All I do is BS and smile, man. That's all I got going on for me. It's all smoke and mirrors. Somebody bring out the smoke machine. I need a diversion.
Ronan Unleashed has donated another $5, and I do believe that's American funds. So
I gotta drink faster.
Yeah. Oh, no, you don't, buddy. No, you. I have seen you take like 8 caps off bottles in the last 30 minutes.
You having a tough day, Jeff? Like we can
Jeff, yeah.
do this arm wrestling show / like therapy session. Like Jeff, you open up like 8 drinks in half an hour. Like,
oh fuck. Hey, I just invested a whole whack of money into these new Canon C200s, and I'm excited to try them out at these new super matches and see how all this new camera and editing gear works.
How many did you get? Canon C200. I don't know what I'm talking about. I need Brad on here, but
yeah.
Did you get a couple of them?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, basically they're a full line production camera.
Right.
They're kind of the top of the line in terms of, well, I don't know, like I'm not a huge camera guy either. Like I know, like I don't know where you classify them as production cameras, like not full scale broadcast cameras, but yeah, they're pretty whizzy. So excited to give them a whirl.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
What you need to do, Jeff, is you need to work out how to live stream your super matches to me so I can call them live.
Well, let's do this on the 21st. How do we do that?
That's your homework.
Yeah, you got to do some.
No idea.
This is not a tutorial show for Jeff's pay-per-view.
No, because it is something that I am looking into. Being on the other side of the world from you guys, it's not looking anytime soon. Even here in Melbourne, there's talks this morning about having a 5-day lockdown and things like that. Like it's hard even just to go to the shops. So I want to call matches live, and that's something that is something that I've been looking into. Like, hey, just live stream something to me, and I'll take care of the rest.
That's a pretty good idea. Jeff Curtis Mocan, he says he sends a $6.99 super chat and says the chicks will be flocking to Jeff.
You haven't met my wife.
Get ready, buddy. Get ready, because you called this and you're going to get there.
So if you just jumped in, guys, for the super chat, if you've just jumped into the show, we need to get $50 in total, and Ryan and Jeff are going topless for the rest of the show. Ryan was saying because
Ryan agreed to it. I don't know if he agreed.
I don't think I agreed, but Jeff definitely volunteered.
Hey, we didn't.
Ryan, it's your show as well. You got to.
I was going to say we didn't jump into this gig fucking as individuals.
Yeah. Now, Ryan, if your left arm was strong, I probably would have said keep your shirt on, but according to some particular people, it's just not that strong.
Jonathan,
hey, Jonathan logged on. He tuned in just to say that and bounced.
Yeah, he's out. Yeah, Jonathan's out.
Well, I can guarantee you, Robbie Topi's in the chat.
Oh.
Where is Robbie Topi in the chat?
He never comments, but he's there. Robbie, if you're in the chat, let's hear a shout out.
And then when I say something to him, he's going to just shoot me a text message and say, "Why did you say that about me?" I don't think he's there.
He's there.
He's a strong guy. He's a strong dude.
Hey, Paul, what do you think about Morocco's event coming up?
I think it's super awesome.
Are you going to be going to that one?
I'll go to anything Dave does. That's my guy. So unless, work tells me I got to go across.
Match.
I did. And I forced my way in there. Travis wasn't going to let me in. What? He wasn't going to let me in there. Yeah, that was crazy. There was like, it's a limited amount of people and no cameras and everything else. And I was like, I'm going. I'm going in. So now, I'm going to whatever Dave's doing. That's my guy. Unless work pulls me away or something crazy happens, I am there. Plus, he's getting the money he says he's getting. That's the most money that's been thrown at arm wrestling in more than a year, I think.
Yeah, right arm only. Right arm only.
What event is this?
Well, it's right now it's Dave Morocco's event. He just posted it on Facebook in true Dave Morocco fashion, where he just puts it out like arbitrarily to his friend group, like an announcement, and then he, I think, believes that everyone in the world sees it. But he's what did he say, $1,800 or $1,850 or something to like.
Oh, I did see something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's working on sponsors, and he'll front a portion of the money, I think, himself. So he's trying to make payouts, I think, first, second, and third to each class. Is it 3 weight classes, right arm?
It is 3 weight classes, right arm, and at the second one, he's going to do the same prize money, but he's going to have a left arm one.
Yeah.
The same classes left.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's very close to me, and I would 100% be there.
And that's cool of him to put up his own money.
Like he's done it for a long time. He's done it for a long time. Like when I first got started in arm wrestling, he had $1,000 weight class to the super heavyweights, the local super heavyweights, Sean Latimer, Mike Aiello, all these guys, Ken Hoban, just $1,000 to first place, whatever the second, third, and fourth or whatever. And he just at a tournament, and it was his own money. He's done it. He's sponsored Travis's things, who is his concrete company. He's just that guy, you know.
Oh, he's a concreter.
Yeah.
Oh, then it's only $1,000. Oh, I'm disappointed. Concreters make so much money. They got broken back, but they make so much money. No, that's awesome. That's awesome that he's putting up his own money. Lot more respect for him for that. That's because people need to do that. That's it's a horrible thing, and that's the only way we can attract some people. There's 2 tournaments on the same weekend, and this one's got a prize. That's cool. That's very cool. I can only imagine, Jeff, that you pumped a lot of money into TAL.
Well, holy fuck! The TAL2 event. I think I hit near $30,000 on that one.
Wow. And so you was that all like sponsor money? Do you have? I take it you had to put personal money into that.
That was my personal money on that one. Yeah.
I think that's the thing that people don't realize, and involving myself with James Reed and the promotions that we're doing locally here in the Northeast, like we partner up because of the overhead.
Yeah.
Because it's really, really tricky, and I'm bad. I'm horrible. I'm horrific when it comes to like sponsorships. I can't sell anything to save my life, so it winds up just front the money and hope we break even. And try and do as cool a stuff as we possibly can. But a lot of people don't realize with an arm wrestling tournament, first off, how much money it costs. Second off, how much coordination, effort, and like anxiety goes into the preparation and then the 10 hours that is the tournament.
Right.
It is like when you're done, you just want to crash.
Oh, they're big days. I turned up north mid-December, and all I had to do was commentate for 7 hours. And even just commentating for 7 hours, or even at the end of it, I was just like, I'm done. I'm cooked. And I didn't do any of the organisation the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation did. So they're big, massive days. Even here, I try and organise super matches, and just the logistics that go into that, and people being bitches, it's just like, and I haven't put any money in, and they're big days. They're big days.
Yeah. It's all worth it though, because it's all
absolutely,
worth it,
absolutely.
Once again, nobody. We're not making money on this, Like maybe there's money to be made if you're that top league or whatever, but we're not making money on this stuff.
No, we just want to, and Paul, you have the football background, and I'm the same here with the Aussie rules football and basketball with my upbringing. We are used to competing every week.
Yeah.
When we've moved into arm wrestling and we're not competing every week.
It's soccer in Australia.
No, we have Paul, I'm talking about American football.
Aussie rules. Yeah,
and I'm talking about Aussie rules here. But we're used to competing every week. So when we have 5 tournaments a year or 5 events a year, it's agitating. So then people like Paul and James and like yourselves, you put on your own events just so there's competition.
Yeah, just for something.
Yeah,
just for something. Like we're doing these underground series because we got people reporting things and being weird, being a bunch of weirdos. Like we got our last tournament. Our last tournament got reported after the YouTube videos came out.
Was that the New York one, Paul?
Yeah,
what the videos came. Shit that is, and sorry to interrupt you, but that fucking pisses me off. And the reason it does, Ryan, there's so many whiny bitches out there fucking reporting tournaments just because they're fucking jealous of what people are doing, and it's horseshit.
Right.
And I feel bad.
with that, do you think that it was an arm wrestling promoter that was jealous of your event? Or do you think it was just you know, the Karens and the social justice.
No,
ones.
it's the promoters, and here's why. And I know exactly what Paul's saying, because fucking both my TAL events were on the brink of being canceled because fucking guys with big mouths and trying to
name names, Jeff.
I'm not that drunk yet, but it's a fact. I had personal messages coming into my messaging inbox, whining about what I was doing for events that were being held 1,800 miles from Boise, Idaho.
Yeah, I'm super chatting to get these names out.
Yeah, we want names, Jeff. We want names.
No, I mean, listen, we like James. Like James is like we did so much research to figure out, and we have it narrowed down to a couple people.
What happened? What happened because you got reported?
We had the New York State Championship, which is James's largest individual tournament of the year. I was not involved in that, and it was the week before. He was reported to the Department of Health locally and reached out by whatever the title of the person that has that in an email. And I was on the email, and I wasn't even a part of it or the flyer or anything like that. So, which leads me to know for a fact that it is 100% someone in the arm wrestling community who is familiar with my prior events.
And I know who it was. Paul, for your event. And
all right, super chat.
And the reason why I know that, because it was brought up at the Boise, Idaho TAL event, because they tried to shut me down too. And it was funny in that conversation. The New York State Championships was brought up.
Is this something you can say on live, or do I have to
I don't like
later?
Text me later. I don't like to be that. I don't like to be that guy.
Listen,
Put me
guys,
in the chat. I won't say anything. I just want to know.
I am not a vindictive person. I don't harbor any ill will, but I like to know. I just like to know. If I understand, I just need to understand people. So if there's something going on, there's an angle, I just need to understand it, and I'll work around it.
I got a message asking me, who the fuck do I think I am coming to the United States of America running events down there when I'm Canadian?
Yeah, I know who that was, and I cannot say it, but
you guys,
Jeff, do you think that person...
I'm on the other side of the world, and you're like, oh, we've got all this gossip going on, and I can't say anything. Someone slide into my DMs. I'm not a snitch or anything. I just need to know names.
Oh. What were you saying, Ryan?
Jeff, do you think that's the same person that would have reported somebody for having an event?
Well, they work together.
But you also have that same person that thinks COVID's a conspiracy. So let's.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, no, I see what you're 100% right, Ryan. I see where you're going with that. It's I don't know, man. I like what Paul said earlier. Like, the more people we have, the better the sport. There's no such thing as too many YouTube channels. There's no such thing as too much this or too much that. The more people we have, the more powerful we become. It don't matter if you have 500 or 500 shows. Everybody's going to subscribe to those shows. Right. And frankly, it's probably better. It gives people more motivation to have the best show out there, and it only makes each and every individual better.
Right. And, when you apply that theory to tournaments, that's where people but people tend to get weird because, if you put out a tournament and, if there's people that are consistently putting out really poor tournaments, they're getting really poor turnouts, but detracting from other ones that are pretty cool. I understand that argument of the people who say less is more, less is more. Yeah. But I also think if you have the right people putting out really cool tournaments in pseudo coordination with each other, then all we're going to do is attract more arm wrestlers, not attract all of the already established arm wrestlers from another tournament. And that's been a concept I think that's been argued for quite some time. And I've always had the same stance. Less isn't more, more is more.
Yeah, I think even with the tournaments, I think if they're promoted properly, I think the attraction to new pullers, and that's what we need is we need huge amateur turnouts.
Right.
I think these amateur divisions like TAL1 where they were 16 people deep. We need to see that at every single tournament.
Yes.
And people argue that with me, and I don't understand it.
Preach, man. Preach.
Yeah, absolutely.
The amateurs got to be 15 deep minimum.
Yep.
The sport's growing and it needs to just build and build. So that's why I'm all for more is more in this circumstance. We need
fuck. I'm out of fucking booze, man. It's empty.
Probably a good thing because the bartender is gonna cut you off, and you're gonna get asked to leave pretty soon.
Think about this concept though, Jeff, because you got me on my soapbox right now. Think about this concept. Like, so when we start talking about like, all right, you put 30 grand of your own money up for a really dope, highly promoted event where the upper tier arm wrestlers got paid really well, from what I understand. And that's 30 grand. Okay. So like you can go out and get sponsors, you can do a bunch of different things. But at the end of the day, when we're just regular people trying to host tournaments, the only way you recoup your money is entry fees. And when I started out as an amateur and I didn't know shit about shit, I was putting myself into 6 and 8 classes to try and learn as 100%. Much as I possibly could. And I was funding that promoter and happily doing so, saying, here, please give me my experience. Yep. So these are the guys that are really, I mean, honestly, they're really sponsoring arm wrestling 100%. Through their own growth.
Yep.
So like, why would we not want to celebrate them and give them more
100%,
opportunity?
100%. And I think, I mean, we have all the tools at our fingertips to promote these events. I struggled with it a little bit being in a different country. I couldn't figure it out, but Facebook is a powerful tool. And I'm talking like you can you can promote your event on Facebook for $100 and you can reach 100,000 people just like that. And when people see arm wrestling, it's amazing the feedback you get with that event. Like, I mean, each of the TAL events, well, I'll say the first one that I had, especially being here in Canada where I could really promote it here locally on Facebook and reach so many people. I mean, there were so many new people that never even knew arm wrestling was a thing, right?
Hey, listen, I come from a time when we wanted to find out about tournaments, we called Denise and we got on the mailing list for the flyer that had all the tournaments listed. Or we subscribed to the Armbender magazine.
Yep.
Or we called Mary McConaughey in South Dakota and see what she had going on. There was like 3 websites. Dave Devoto's was one of them. And that's awesome. Just, we don't realize how easy it is now to get the word out there. It's an interesting subject. And I have a question for you guys. But first I have mention the super chat. $2.99 from Brad's Lawns. We need scheduled shows weekly, then tournaments. That's his input here.
Oh, we just need content. We just
need content
and everything.
Now, previous to this COVID era, there was YouTube. Guys were putting out content, but not necessarily huge amounts of it, right? Since COVID started, this kind of all exploded. What do you think the impact on the arm wrestling world is going to be once the world opens back up and every league and every promotion is running full steam ahead? Is the content on YouTube going to slow down, or are we going to complement each other and accelerate further than we've ever been?
Both. Both will happen. Why both will happen is because with a lot of content and you know, people going back to work and all that, with anything, the lazy people will drop off. Yeah. The people that are comparing, you know, views against other channels, or they're not getting subscribers and things like that. They're the ones that are always going to drop off. You're always going to get your 20-25% dropping off. But if you are a content creator and the world opens back up and you do not continue what you're doing, you are crazy. You are crazy. For example, my shtick is commentating arm wrestling matches. So I'm constantly going through the archives. I would be stupid not to jump on the new matches that are happening. So it's, I believe the only thing that may slow down is the elite with their content, because they've got to, you know, get ready for their big money, you know, their breadwinner things. But I think you should accelerate. You should be putting out even more content if when the world opens back up.
Well, I think it depends on the person though. You know what I mean? Because I went really stagnant during this. Like when the gyms were shut down, like I just struggled to like find motivation to create things that were relevant in the weird time.
Yeah.
So like me, I kind of fell into my own issues of like, all right, like I'm going to put my head down and just grind. And trying to lose my mind during this madness.
Well, here's a question, Paul. Now, when you see YouTube content, what are the ones that you just scroll past? Like, what interests you guys? What do you want to see?
I'll be honest with you. Like, when it comes to like these podcasts are really awesome. These to me, I agree. I put these in because I don't have to look at everyone's face. I can just put my headphones in and go to the gym. And if I'm doing whatever I'm doing, I'll put the headphones in and I can be caught up on everything. Mm-hmm. The stuff that I look at on YouTube and actually watch like in the evenings is the visual stuff, like the competition stuff. Like I'm going to watch an arm wrestling TV, like tournament recap because I want to see it. So to me, those are the click ones, you know what I mean? Where I'm going to watch them. The other ones I might go into a playlist and just listen at the gym. But I think it all has its place.
Mm-hmm. For me, you've got to be consistent. Right. Like the amount of times I see everyone, hey, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Tell me why I should subscribe to your channel. Not just because you told me to. Tell me why I should subscribe to your channel. And when you're flogging your channel off and going, oh, everyone subscribe, and I click on your channel and you've got 2 videos, I'm not interested. Give me consistency. Show me that my time, because we all don't have much time. Right. We're all quite busy because we don't make money off it. So show me why I should be investing my time into your channel. So when I go look at arm wrestling channels, I'm like, cool, these guys do a podcast once a week, once a fortnight. They also include some competition stuff. Oh, beautiful. Now they're venturing off here. Beautiful. I'm invested in that channel. For me, you've got to be consistent. All the time I see on Facebook, and I've got no problem helping each other out. Oh, hey, everyone, subscribe to this person's channel. But I need to know why. I need to know why I should be subscribing. And are you going to stay consistent? Because you can be all guns blazing in your first month, but then they usually drop off because they're not getting the views and likes and subs. Your channel shouldn't have 200 subs with 4 videos. You should have 40, 50 videos before you even reach your first 100, because then everyone binge watches your channel, because that's what I do. I'm like, oh, what's this Lethal Assassins network? Oh, holy crap, they've got 100 videos. And then suddenly I find myself not doing the dishes at home. Sorry, babe. But I've just been watched 4 or 5 hours and now notifications are on and I'm like, bang, here we go. New video comes out and I watch it straight away. So you've got, for me, you've got to be consistent.
What about training though? Is there some sort of training stuff that gets a little redundant? Like, is there certain people that you say, okay, only you should be putting out training videos? Because I see a lot of guys, doing the same. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Training is like and Ryan, you probably the most qualified to answer this. So you go ahead and I'll put my take on it.
Listen, there's so much things out there. Like what I have discovered recently is it doesn't really matter what you put out there for training. People will absorb it at a certain rate. They'll take what they like. Maybe they'll use it. But it seems like everyone wants to see heavy lifts all the time. They don't care about the instructional type of videos as much as just lifting heavy shit all the time. Engen could publish all of his training videos, and I'm not sure how much uptake he would get compared to him just talking about, current events in the arm wrestling world. So I still have training as part of a weekly, segment just for pumping out content and staying kind of have some fresh stuff going on the page. But it's tough. It's tough to stay motivated doing that. And I don't know what people really want to see for training because I'm constantly asking. The one request I get that is not realistic is, can you give me a whole routine for a new arm wrestler? Like that's.
I get that almost every day.
I think with training videos, it's kind of like I can kind of like play devil's advocate. The arm wrestling world is so lucky that you can get the best of the best showing you how they train and how they have become the best. If I turn on the NFL, Tom Brady isn't showing me how to throw a football. If I turn on the NBA, Steph Curry isn't telling me how to shoot a basketball. We are so lucky that every single elite person's like, this is me in the gym. So what the internet world needs to do is just stop critiquing everyone's lifts. Because I would just like to see your body shape behind the camera. But then also, as someone, I'm not aspiring to be an elite puller. I love pulling. I'm a garbage puller. My arms kind of look like arms, but only smaller. I just love the sport. So anytime I get on, and it's like, for me, it's like another training video. Like, come on now. Like, it's good that the market is there if you want to become an elite superstar and you've got all this wealth of knowledge, but it can also backfire with a bit too much. So then once again, why should I be watching Paul Linn's? Why should I be watching Jeff Frank's training video? Why should I be watching Ryan Espey's training video? So yeah, I think if you're going to do training videos, unless you're at the top, like you guys are, you need to be doing something different. If I see another cool man, like it's cool that you're passionate and you're showing it, but I'm scrolling past. Like I just haven't got time. I love you all, but I haven't got time.
It's funny what people respond to though. Like newer arm wrestlers, it really is. Like, I mean, I think I put a video on Instagram where I was doing a wrist wrench from a different angle and got like 5,000 views. Like on an Instagram video when my Instagram was small way back. But like, it's funny what people like latch on to.
Sheldon, you short, you prick. I got to take my fucking shirt off.
What happened?
Somebody put it at $13.99.
Oh no. Things are going off the rails here.
Sheldon Short, the Lloydminster's arm benders. Sheldon, what I would like for you to do, not only will I give you a ready bang while Jeffrington Frankenstein takes his shirt off, you get the ready bang. But what I want you to do, because you have sent this over the $50, if you have a pretty decent super match from the Lloydminster's arm benders that's under a minute long, send it to my Instagram in my direct messages, and I will do
Come on, Ryan.
You go ahead, Jeff. This is all you, baby.
You really
this
are.
Is all you. This is your OnlyFans page over here that we're doing this on. You know, if there's more than one of us with our shirts off, we're gonna.
That's very
at the
PG.
traps on that guy.
Yeah.
Let's see the most muscular. No, that's not the most muscular. This one.
Paul Linn will fucking smash us all. Come on, guys. Across the board.
Oh my God.
Stand up, Jeff. Come on. Show everyone the moneymaker. Stand up.
Yeah. Let's have the ab and thigh.
I didn't wear.
For all we know, you could be wearing a sports bra. So
I got no pants on.
Yeah.
Neither do I. That's
for
fine.
another $20 for a $20 super chat. Jeff will put his shirt back on.
We've officially been banned from YouTube.
Yeah. You're gonna have to say this video is not for children.
We need the super chats. Because this video is demonetized.
Yes, demonetized. Ryan, the $1.37 you were gonna make is gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone forever.
But if you and your wife ever break up, Jeff, which I hope doesn't happen,
it ain't gonna.
Got a good puller in Joe Fox. Says your
Fox.
Joe Fox is my. Fucking Joe Fox is a bad dude. He's a good friend of mine.
Drink
here.
Bad dude.
Oh fuck! Where's my? I'm empty, boys.
I saw you drinking.
I got a little bit of a Mickey left.
He's drinking straight rum now. Oh my God. I wonder if my wife is still watching upstairs on the TV.
How's it going, Victoria?
Who? Somebody else.
Oh no.
Curtis Mocan. Take that shirt off, Jeff, and chug the rest of that bottle. Be a real American.
Oh. Fuck.
We're going to have our first live heart attack on YouTube. Heart attack. Ladies and gentlemen, tune in to the Total Arm Wrestling Show where Jeff Frank drops dead. Like,
we're trying to get him arrested by the airport security.
But the best thing is, because I can't help myself, as soon as Jeff does this, you know I'm coming in with a ready bang. Like, I'm coming in. And it's like, oh, Jeff has a heart attack and ready bang. drop dead.
You got to cue that better.
That's actually terrible. Just for the record.
Oh, gentlemen, I appreciate
now,
you
Ryan,
all.
I've got to ask. I'm looking at your background there. Now, is your wall really, really far away, or do you just have the smallest drawers in the world?
That's a full-size dresser right there. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong side.
Matt Mass called me today. Matt Mass called me today. He says, "Make sure you tell Ryan Espey that he fucking reminds me of a fucking bobblehead. When he was 240 pounds, he said he's got the fucking biggest head, biggest legs, and no upper body. No upper body. He said he reminded him of a bobblehead. I forgot to say that. He told me to tell you that.
And he got beat by a bobblehead, a 240-pound bobblehead. Oh, Matt Mask. You better tell Matt that.
He's a fun guy. I was very fortunate enough to meet Matt through all of this. He came on the show, and he's a cool dude. I quite enjoyed the time I spent with him. He was definitely different to what I was expecting, but I had so much fun having a chat with Matt. Huge fan of Matt.
Matt and I have been a lot of places around the world. Well, North America anyway. We were even roommates at the Arnold Classic once, and down in Los Angeles for UAL, and some good memories there. But our story is not finished, so we will see.
I tried to line that match up for the 20th, but Matt hasn't been doing. Matt only lives 5 minutes from me.
And just for the record, what did I say?
About what?
If I would take that match in the 20th.
Yeah. What did you say?
I think I said I would like to have that match. Yes, Jeff, that would be a good match.
Oh yes, but Matt's not really a left-handed puller.
Well, we can't pull right because I think the WAL wants to book that one.
Well, he'll be waiting 2 more years.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, things have gone off the rails, and I'm happy to continue letting them go that way. But if you have a schedule that needs to be kept, I also fully understand that. I do appreciate you both joining us on the show.
No, I'm whenever I get invited to these things, man, I get so excited just as a sports fan in general. I just love it. I love all these things. I'll talk all day.
Yeah.
We need sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
Ward Drake says Ryan did kind of look like a bobblehead at 242. My good friend Ward Drake. Yeah, I appreciate you.
I want to talk. I just want to ask about Paul Linn about his clothing line he's got
yeah,
going.
Let's talk about that.
I love that stuff. I mean, it's cool looking clothing. Go ahead, Paul.
ShopLethalArms.com.
LethalArms.com.
ShopLethalArms.com. And if you guys are interested in the most recent stuff, we also print in bulk, and we can ship out the stuff that is not on the site. So I'll be putting some stuff out here shortly about the recent designs that we're putting out, and you can DM me and I'll mail it to you direct. It's cheap.
Are you shipping out to Australia, Paul? Because I remember when we very first chatted a while ago after the show, I went to order and I wasn't shipping to Australia.
Well, I'm that dropship stuff is like you set your site up and then they handle it, and it's garbage, really. I mean, it's not garbage. Like the shirt quality is great, but like you pay all this money, like DM me and we'll mail you a shirt. Let me know your size, bro. Let me know your size. I think I owe you one.
And I believe you're wearing one now, Paul.
Yeah, this is the original logo.
Those are badass.
This is the original logo that the LA Dodgers came after me about, and so that is what it is.
Is that a true story? Or are you pulling our leg?
That is 100% true story.
No kidding.
It is not because the logo is similar itself visually, but because when I wrote my trademark, I used the wrong words. I used the words in the same order that they used them. And
I gotta put my shirt.
And they stopped my trademark in the last day before approval. And then they proceeded to send all kinds of emails and make me take down all pictures of this logo.
Wow.
So, but we're still selling it.
Of course. Of course.
Jeff. Oh, the shirt's back on.
Well, my wife left the house to go get some dinner. She comes back in, sees me sitting in front of four guys with my shirt off. Things might get a little tense.
Yeah, especially if we quickly log off and you're all by yourself.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, we are at the end of what we would normally have our scheduled show. So, Jake, Mr. Aussie Arm Wrestler himself, what would you like to plug? Let's talk about your channel a little bit. Make sure everyone goes over there and hits the subscribe button. And why should they subscribe to your channel?
They should subscribe to my channel because I will give you the most unique and entertaining way to watch an arm wrestling match and an arm wrestling podcast. I got Jerry Caderet coming up. I'm in talks with Bart Wood coming on the show, just trying to work out a time there. It is all fun. You get the ridiculous Aussie accent that most of you probably can't understand. You get the ready bangs, which is the most catchiest catchphrase in arm wrestling today. And I just do it all because it's just so much fun. And coming onto these shows is fantastic. But not only that, I hope everyone that is watching this also plugs these shows because and subscribes to all these shows, because a lot of the time people jump in and they say they support and they don't really do it. So I love everyone in the community to just subscribe to all the arm wrestling channels, all of them, not just mine. Do mine first. Do mine first. Of course, do mine first. Do the other arm wrestling. Then go hit everyone else up.
Mr. Paul Linn, you got anything else you want to mention before we go off?
Lethal Arm Assassins Network. If you're interested in the documentation of my journey and all my weird training videos and arbitrary stuff, our channel is more geared towards like a repository for arm wrestling stuff in general. So I'll take videos from other people that they want to promote something on there, whatever the case may be. It's a network. Nothing cool like Jake. I don't have that energy, and I'm not doing a ton of podcasts, but I do show up on them, and I appreciate any support.
You show up on every podcast. I think that's what's fantastic about you, Paul. I was very excited when you jumped on my one, but you, regardless if they're, very popular or just starting out, you will always give your time. And I think like people like Karma should just look after you with Lethal Arms Assassin, because 100%. what you do for everyone else, you give up so much of your time. You're on the Fix, you've come on my show, you're on here, you've helped the other 98%, you've helped the Church of Arm Wrestling podcast. Anyone that asks you if you have the time, and if not, you go out of your way to make time to try and help them out on their show. So I think really everyone should be really helping Paul out with anything.
I love it, guys. I wouldn't do it if I didn't love it. I love everybody involved in the sport and everybody who's doing positive stuff. I'm here for you.
Now, there's one thing I want to mention before we go off the air, but we haven't talked about it yet, Jeff. The fact that I am giving away an arm wrestling table, an Israel Arm Wrestling Club arm wrestling table. When we get to 100 members combined between the YouTube channel memberships and Patreon memberships, we will draw for that arm wrestling table, and I will ship it anywhere in the world, and you will get it for free.
That's awesome. Before we shut down, I just got a question. Where do I get a hold of like how I don't have an Israel handle or anything by now? I need to get.
Just go on Facebook, type in Israel Arm Wrestling Club, and just message him. He'll get right back to you. Okay,
somehow I've missed that boat completely. The Israel has an eccentric handle, right?
Yes, he does.
Yep.
Okay. That's the one I wanted.
And his handles are all interchangeable, and
yeah,
they are good.
I'm interested in that traditional style of eccentric handle that Mazarenko has, but a different version.
Yep.
Cool.
Jeffrey, any closing thoughts?
Just the upcoming TAL events. Stay tuned. Live event February 21st, local event. The ultimate arm wrestler event for the TAL Super Match Series. February 21st starts at 2:00, and then May 22nd, right here in Red Deer, Alberta, Canada, we got the next TAL 3, Luke Kent versus Alihan Muratov from Kazakhstan.
Wow!
All right.
Good. Beautiful.
Hey, can I just say one thing right now? Because like Jeff, you and I have never really talked. But I've heard about a lot of the stuff you're doing, and I've talked to a lot of people involved in it. And I've also talked to local arm wrestlers who've been watching a lot of what you're doing that I might have missed. And I can say now, after talking to you, that I'm fully behind everything that you're doing right now. And when I hear the amount of money you put into that event, and where your focus is with the amateurs, I am in 100% support, and I believe that everybody else should be also. So anybody who is worried about that event or being weird and like snitching or doing whatever that's going on, that is tragic, guys. That is tragic. Because
don't be a flog. Don't be a flog.
Come on. This guy's putting it out there and doing it. It's terrible.
Well, I sincerely appreciate that, Paul, and that means a lot, brother. So, I mean, yeah, thanks a lot.
Any way I can ever help, let me know.
Well, I mean, we'll be talking soon for sure. There's lots once things clear up and people can travel a little bit more, I'm sure we'll be in touch about potential matchups.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, even from the promotional aspect too, if I can ever help promote your stuff, let me know.
I appreciate that, sir.
Right on, gents. I appreciate you all. And thanks for the support, everybody. And we'll see everyone next week.
Right on. Look those are some guns. Aussie arm wrestler. Bang! Look at those.
Hey!